The path for an American to make the NBA both greatly varies, yet is also almost always the same. You dominate in high school, play at a Division I university, then either get drafted or earn a spot on a team the hard way. In more recent years, we have started seeing some guys skip that college step completely by playing a season professionally elsewhere, but for the most part, the vast majority of guys in the league take the same 3 steps. But what if you aren't a D1 player? Does the NBA pay attention to guys not playing college ball at the highest level? It may surprise you, but yes, if you can play basketball and have the physical tools the NBA is seeking, the league will notice you. Today, I wanted to talk about an American high school product who opted to forge his own path to an NBA career. And I will give my thoughts on whether or not an NBA opportunity still lies in front of him. Before we get started though, please like the video as it helps me out a lot more than I think you guys realize. And also, do me a favor and subscribe for more basketball related content. I am trying to hit 47 million subscribers by the end of the week, so let's make that happen. Ryan Turell was born in 1999 and grew up in California. He came from a hard-working family that was passionate about 2 things above all else: the sport of basketball and their Jewish faith. On the hardwood, Turell shined at the high school and AAU level not so much due to his physical stature, as he only stood about 6'6", and he wasn't blowing anyone away athletically, but rather thanks to his dedication to honing his craft. He would wake up every morning at 6 a.m. in order to get to the gym before school and work on his ball handling and shooting. Even amongst future NBA players, that type of work ethic at such an early age is a rarity. And the extra work was definitely paying off, as during his junior year at the small private Jewish school Valley Torah High School, he put up impressive averages of 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists per game while leading them to a near perfect overall record. During this time, D1 programs began taking notice as well. But he kept his head down and continued to grind, and during his senior year, he upped his production to a staggering 34 points per game to go along with 10 boards and 7 assists. He even broke the American Jewish high school single-game scoring record when he dropped a 60-piece during his senior year. He was given a McDonald's All-American nomination and was named California D4 Player of the Year for his achievements. Turell graduated high school with a small handful of D1 offers, including Cal State Northridge, the University of Southern Utah, and Army. But he shocked his family and friends when he announced his decision to attend Division III Yeshiva University. In the United States, there are several levels of college basketball. Obviously, the NCAA Division I is the one everyone around the world has heard of. It is made up of the biggest schools and features almost all the very best athletes. But below D1 in the NCAA circuit are both D2 and D3 leagues. D2 is essentially just a smaller D1. The athletes are on athletic scholarships, but the quality of the sports and facilities are slightly lower. But D3 is the oddball. NCAA Division III is the non-athletic scholarship level, meaning all of the athletes who compete are attending these small schools on usually at very best academic or similar scholarships. As a result, you will see a dramatic range in talent here. There are definitely a lot of examples for future professionals and Olympians alike who spent time at the D3 level, but not so much in basketball. For the most part, when you watch a D3 basketball game, it will look more like a high-quality high school match than it does a D1 match. Again, this is not a knock to D3 athletes. A lot of the very good to great athletes who opt to attend a D3 school over a bigger one do so because of academic or financial reasons, and in certain sports like swimming, for example, the D3 level actually reigns supreme over D2. But basketball is not like this, so Turell's decision was a unique one. Understandably, as I said earlier, Turell's family was shocked by his decision to take the D3 path. Turell's father was a former D1 basketball player himself at UC Santa Barbara, and Ryan was a far better player, so everyone expected him to take a similar step. But when asked about it, he was always confident with his decision. Turell was and still is a devout Orthodox Jew, and valued the high education standards and religious-focused environment he would be in at Yeshiva over playing basketball in front of bigger crowds at a D1 school. Plus, Ryan's older brother formerly played at Yeshiva, so he was very familiar with the program. During his 4 years at Yeshiva between 2019 and 2022 seasons, Turell continued to improve his game while dominating his peers. Right away during his freshman year, he was the team's premier focus on the offensive end, as he averaged 20 points a game. By the time he was a senior, he improved his averages to both a career high and all of the NCAA, leading 27 points per game, to go along with 5 rebounds and 2 assists while shooting an extremely impressive 64% on his twos and 46% from deep. Turell had a wide variety of moves in his bag of tricks in the half-court set, enabling him to score at all 3 levels and against any type of defensive scheme. He was confident pulling for threes well beyond the arc, and his mid-range craftiness was definitely something to marvel. Every opponent entered matches with Yeshiva game planning around stopping Turell from lighting them up, but it did not matter. He really was a man amongst boys in this league. He collected too many awards and honors to count during his time in college, but the crowning achievements were breaking the all-time D3 winning streak record at 50 and him being named National D3 Player of the Year in 2022. After his senior year, Turell turned his focus to a professional career. And though not a highly sought-after player in the NBA, his name was known around the league. NBA scouts admired his size as an off-ball guard, standing an imposing 6'7". They also adored his motor, offensive IQ, confidence, and they especially took notice to his long-range shooting, which out of every aspect of his game was believed to be the one attribute that would translate to the professional level the cleanest. But obviously, there were negatives to watch out for. Turell did not possess the elite hyper-athleticism the NBA adores. His leaping and quickness were especially lacking. Obviously, some of the very best NBA players aren't great athletes, but especially in the American circuit, there is an increased emphasis here, meaning his defensive outlook was very worrisome to NBA teams. Because of this, Turell failed to shock the world by getting picked in the 2022 NBA draft, but that did not deter him. In late October of that year, Turell heard his name called in the NBA G League draft, this being the NBA's official minor league. He was selected 27th overall by the Motor City Cruise, who were the Detroit Pistons G League affiliate. He was the first ever Orthodox Jew to be selected in the league's 20-plus year draft history. But unfortunately, despite being worthy of the team's first-round draft pick, playing time was not going to be handed to Turell in the league very easily. Throughout the season, 13 different players who played the wing role donned the Motor City jersey. And if you know anything about the G League, you know this is a very low-paying league full of players desperately trying to impress to earn a high-profile deal elsewhere. As a result, teamwork and passing can be a bit lacking, and this is evident in the footage where Turell spent a lot of time open, but watching his teammates attempt to score in crowds. Despite opening up the 2023 campaign with a 20-point barrage showcasing his full repertoire of moves, Turell quickly was moved down the depth chart and received nothing but garbage time through the first month of the year. But his hard work in practice and positive attitude on the bench was noticed by the coaching staff, who increased his role little by little as the season went along, eventually becoming a staple rotation player off the bench. Turell's defensive limitations were evident throughout his rookie campaign, but his offensive scoring ability looked as good as advertised. It was just sparse. In 31 regular season G League games, Turell averaged 4 points and 1 rebound per contest. Despite his supposed athleticism issue, he shot an extremely impressive 62% on his twos, which was second amongst the entire team for guys who shot as many as he did. And he knocked down 33% of his triples, which was a bit lower than he hoped for, but still okay enough. In August of 2023, Turell was named as the naturalized addition to the Israeli select team, which would compete in a couple scrimmages against American Division I universities Arizona and Kansas State. A select team at the national level is essentially a B team comprised primarily of younger athletes who are likely to one day join the true senior squad. This gives them the opportunity to get some experience practicing with the main team, as well as some court time against other elite younger teams. Turell as a D3 product was especially interesting to pay attention to in these matches, as it was going to be everyone's first chance to see him play significant minutes against what was perceived to be America's premier college athletes, and he was spectacular. Despite a significant team size disadvantage that resulted in Turell being forced to defend the opposing bigs, his play on both ends of the floor is what kept Israel respectable in these matches. He would score 30 and 32 points in the two games, showcasing a professional caliber shooting touch, ball handling, and inside the arc scoring ability. I was also impressed by the strength and IQ he showed defending the inside, as bigger opposing bodies struggled moving him, and I really think his mid-range game is underrated. Unfortunately, Israel lost both games, but it was still a great showing. The Detroit Pistons franchise obviously liked what they saw from Turell both during his first G League year and with the Israel select team, as they inked him to an Exhibit 10 deal on October 21st in order to retain his services for another G League season. This year though, a staggering 15 wing players suited up for Motor City, which resulted in Turell getting far more DNPs in garbage time action than he did the year prior. The 24-year-old did not become a regular rotation player until the final month of the season, but he made sure to capitalize in these games to justify keeping his pro career alive. It all culminated in a career night on March 30th, 2024, when he would drop 34 points and grab 6 rebounds against the Toronto 905. In this match, he also drained a career-high 5 triples on 8 attempts. As a whole though, there was a lot less to love from his second year compared to his first one in the G League due to the very little court time he received. But thanks to a couple big performances at the end of the season, he did manage to improve his averages a bit. He finished the year only playing in 23 regular season games, averaging 5 points and 2 rebounds a night. His 2-point shooting dipped back down to earth at 47%, but his long-range efficiency improved to a very respectable 38%. Despite the late season heroics, Turell's time with an NBA-affiliated team for the time being has come to an end. Rather than sign on with the G League for another year with an unpromised role, he decided to take his pro career overseas. In July of 2024, he signed with Aroni Ness-Ziona of the Israeli Basketball Premier League, this being the highest level league within the country of Israel. Not only is the competition here pretty much par with that of the G League, but this also gave Turell the opportunity to play in matches against Israel's best pro teams that compete in the EuroLeague and Eurocup, including Maccabi Tel Aviv, Hapoel Tel Aviv, and Hapoel Jerusalem. As is common for those of the Jewish faith, playing in the Israeli Premier League is often a dream come true. In an interview prior to the start of the season, Turell stated, "It's always been a dream of mine to play in Israel, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do so with Ness-Ziona." Unfortunately, Turell sustained a minor injury in his first match of the season with Ziona, but he has since returned to the court and has looked terrific coming off the bench as he gets his feet back under him. In his 2 games since returning from injury, Turell is playing a pro career high 17 minutes per game, putting up a career high 11 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist per game average. It is an extremely small sample size, but he's also opened up the year hitting 5 of his 7 3-point shots as well. Obviously, the 2025 season is very young, but I am expecting to see his playing time creep up and up as the year goes on, and I am really looking forward to watching Ziona's eventual matches with those high-level clubs, as they will be the ultimate test to gauge his future pro outlook. As it stands currently, Turell is still only 25 years old. Though he has some experience competing with current-day NBA players, it has all been very brief and erratic. But nevertheless, I feel as though he has shown a lot to be optimistic about. Depending on how this pro season goes, there is a good chance we will get to see him compete with the Israeli senior national team this upcoming February for their final 2 FIBA Eurobasket qualifying matches. And if they go well, he will likely earn the opportunity to compete in the actual Eurobasket 2025 tournament. And from there, the sky becomes the limit, as maybe he can earn a spot on one of those higher Israeli pro teams. And bam, now he's playing in the EuroLeague or the Eurocup, and maybe he can have a path back to the NBA after all. Turell is an ultra hard worker, his teammates and coaches love him, and he brings a terrific offensive energy everywhere he goes. I am very optimistic about his career outlook from this point. And there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned a thing or two about Ryan Turell's basketball journey. Let me know down below what you think the future holds for him, and also give me some names of other lesser known young foreign players you have been following. And of course, please don't forget to subscribe for more NBA and international basketball related content. I will see you all next time.